Think business advice is all the same? Think again. We're cutting through the noise and getting straight to the strategies that drive real results.
Marketing has a role. It gets people to come to you, so you don't have to constantly go to them.
No, you are in this for the long haul, my friend. It takes a while to not only know what you're good at and what you can service really well, but also who you want to work with.
Welcome to Envisioning Success. Let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to the Envisioning Success podcast. I'm Laura DiBenedetto, joined by Julia Becker Collins. You know how much we love making you richer and more relaxed? Well, we're going to do more of that today. So today we're going to be talking about sales versus marketing. What's the difference and why does it matter? You would not believe how many people confuse the two and mesh the two, think it's all one and the same. And then sometimes when you get to a certain size company, you'll see that these two departments are pitted against each other because of poor leadership. So I'm of the mind that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So today we're going to talk about this. We're going to help you understand the distinct role of sales and marketing, how they complement each other, and why businesses need both. Yes, you need both to survive. We're going to help you figure that out. So to kick things off, I read something really awesome on X today, and I really just have to read it to you. Alex Hormozy posted this. I'm sure it's not his, but it's a great parable. And I'd like to go back through all 25 years of sales and marketing and say this to all the people who are like, no, I'm good. I don't need marketing. I don't need sales. So this one goes out to you. Pour one out for my homies. A merchant owned a ship that sprang a small leak. The repair would cost him 1 month's profit. I'll fix it next quarter, he decided, taking on more cargo instead. The leak grew. Now repairs would cost 6 months' profit. I'll fix it next year, he reasoned, taking even more cargo to make up for the lost spend and the lost speed. By year's end, the ship could barely stay afloat. Repairs would cost everything he had. I can't afford to stop now, he thought, mortgaging his home to add yet more cargo. The ship sank. Standing on the shore, a wise trader told him, the best time to fix a problem is when you first realize it's bad. The second best time is now. So, ahoy, matey. Let's do it.
Ahoy, matey. You were like one sentence into that, and I was like, I know exactly where this is going.
We know this parable, absolutely. I mean, I could have bumbled my way through it and tried to improvise and remember it, but it's so much easier to just read it. But, that's just one of those... This is one of these things I really have always wanted to drive the point home about. I feel like people just miss it. Oh, no, I'm fine. Particularly folks in the trades. I mean, you remember this. I mean, we serve folks in the trades. The smart ones are like, oh, I need marketing year round if I'd like to be able to pick and choose when I have business. Mm-hmm. Yes. Not, oh, I have business now, so I don't need to market now. The farmer never says, oh, I have food now. I don't need to plant the crops.
There's not a lot of forward thinking. It's more...
Well, today we changed that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. So for all 8 of our listeners,
hey, rude.
What are we up to 11?
I don't know. Could be 16 for all I know. We were talking about Google reviews before this.
Audible gasp.
I know.
All right. So, Julia, just kind of before we get into the notes, I'd really just love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on sales versus marketing?
I mean, I could write a PhD level dissertation on my thoughts on sales versus marketing, or sales and marketing, based on my 20 plus years experience. There's a lot. You are entirely correct that larger, more established companies oftentimes have a lot of conflict between the two departments. It's like step siblings that don't get along. I don't know why. They love to blame each other. Actually, the last agency I was at, that happened exactly. It was fun. And please hear the sarcasm in my voice. In addition to that, unfortunately, many people in business, no matter their level or experience or industry, often think you only need one and not both, or that one will be a silver bullet for you. And they don't think about how they interplay or coexist, how one's an investment in your future, like fixing the boat before the problem is large, and one is helping you now in closing business, etc. Unfortunately, many business owners, not all, but many, are really good at working in their business and not on their business.
Especially the smaller it is.
Yes. And so this is something that gets overlooked or pushed aside, or I'm just not going to fix it today, or that's a problem for a different day, or that's too much money, or I'm not going to do that, or it's always worked the way I've done it.
I don't understand it, therefore it's not important.
Correct. That as well. Or like a conversation I had the other day. Well, what I'm doing now is working, and so I don't see a need to change it. So yeah, I got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I have been in this boat with you for a long time. I know the thoughts. I have them too. So let me break it down real simple for you. Marketing is how you get people to start a sales conversation. Sales is what you do once people have started to talk to you. And sometimes the sales happen on your website. Sometimes the sales happen through back-end selling through email. Sometimes sales happen in person, one-to-one or over Zoom. It depends on what you're selling, but selling is really the paces of exploring the how much, the how many's, the terms, the negotiations, stuff like that, and really working through people's objections. But the marketing is the attraction, right? It's the initial wooing. It's the, will you go out on a date with me? And then the sales is, now that we're out on a date, let's talk about more serious stuff.
Correct.
So first things first, we got 5 actionable tips for you because that's how we roll here on the show. So the first thing is you need to understand the journey. So marketing focuses on awareness and education, right? And sales handles the close, probably a nice, neat, tidy way to say that. And each has a unique role in the customer journey. And the first thing for you to do is understand what the journey looks like at your company. And where is that line where it transforms from marketing to sales? That's really what's happening. You really need to understand that there's a handoff that happens. It's not just a, hey, we're, just going to get business. That's not how it works. You're not going to just automatically enter into sales conversations unless you're just doing massive cold calling, which you can do, and you can bypass marketing sometimes. But marketing has a rule. It gets people to come to you. So you don't have to constantly go to them. So you need to, number one, get really clear on what your journey to making a sale at your company looks like. What does the customer have to do after they figure out who you are to, now we're a customer? What does that look like? And where's the line between marketing? This is all the stuff where maybe they see your socials and whatever, and then become a customer.
Yep. It's the introduction all the way to the wooing portion of the dating.
Woo. Número dos.
Número dos. So the second actionable tip we have today is about aligning your goals, making sure that your sales and marketing teams are working towards, watch out, the same shared goals. Crazy. I know. Wild up in here. For example, that could be generating qualified leads, converting them into customers. It could be a awareness campaign. We're just trying to get the word out there. It could be, leading up to some kind of big launch, and we're going to do marketing to build up the hype and then work to close it. But what happens, unfortunately, is that sales and marketing can feel like they're competing with each other and then blaming each other when things don't go the way they think, or taking credit for things that isn't just theirs to take credit for. I used to work at an agency where that happened all the time. And so I would sit in meetings and the sales team would be like, well, that is ours. We closed that. And I would say, yes, you did because you're in sales, except they came in because of our marketing. And nobody wanted to give credit to marketing because sales felt that it was all theirs and they were doing the quote hard work and I didn't know what I was doing. So we can all think about how well I took that. But yeah, it was fun. And unfortunately, that happens a lot of times.
It does. Well, I think that, sales people in general, largely, unless you're in ownership, sometimes people are reluctant salespeople. When you have a sales department, there's a certain personality that gets attracted to sales. These are people with a lot of ego, a lot of hubris, a lot of like, me, I'm so great. And that's what gives them the courage to pick up the phone. We love people like this because they actually do the crap we don't want to do. So that's cool. So the challenge for you, business owners, is to take these folks and educate them on what marketing does to make their jobs easier. You have to not necessarily squash their ego, but train their ego in the right direction and help them to see that when marketing wins, they win. And a win for the sales department is a win for the marketing department. And it's like, it's not their win versus your win. It's actually everybody wins, and it's like go team, and it's changing a lot of things, but also greater feedback. Like in an ideal setting, like feedback is going to be flying through all over the place. So when we're working with our clients, all the time we're having conversations like, yeah, you know what? We're getting a lot of leads right now. The quality is good, but it could be a little bit better. They're not as pre-qualified as we would like. Great. So that's really good data that the marketing team can use to kind of fiddle with the knobs and then actually start to attract a different audience for the sales team to work with. Or the sales team is like, no, we love these. These are amazing. Can we have more, please? Great. Sure. So, aligning the goals, huge, but part of that is definitely like, just passing information back and forth.
Right. Agreed. And that's basically number 3.
Yeah. So that definitely happens as well. So number 3 is educating through marketing, right? You're supposed to use your marketing to answer common questions and objections before the sales conversations even start. It's to make the sales conversations easier, because you don't want to get a sales prospect who's fighting you and like lying and like buffering you off and trying to keep you away. What you really want is a sales prospect who actually wants to play ball. I hear your doggy.
I got multiple doors closed, and yet you can still hear her.
He's a big mouth. Hope she's
She's a strong girl.
She is. What's number 4?
Yeah. Number 4 is to pass warm leads to sales. So marketing's job is to be the top of the funnel, to bring in the prospects who are already primed and interested in buying, and then warmly, gently hand them to sales and say, okay, now close this. Thank you. So it's an understanding of how the two hold hands rather than are competing. And when you understand how they interplay, it is better and easier than trying to fight against each other.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So this is where the sales department can actually be really helpful to the marketing department and really clarifying, hey, we have a hard time selling to people like this, but we have a really easy time selling to people like this. And then operations can even weigh in and be like, hey, we have a really great time serving people like this. These are the clients from hell. Maybe sell less of those.
Yep.
We've never had a client from hell in our
No, Laura, never. They're all unique snowflakes, and we love them.
They're special snowflakes. No, actually, I think we've got, after probably about 15 years, we got really started to get clearer. This is before Julia and I met, started to get clearer about like who we are and what we wanted. But it's really been like last 5 years that it's like, okay, well, now we've been at this for a very long time. Now we have the pleasure of being able to pick and choose. And, now we get to be really picky about who we work with. And so, Winning's
I
next.
just had a conversation with a very young business owner who does graphic design. She's 21. She's going to graduate college soon, and she's doing some freelance work on the side. And, not every client is her ideal client, and that's okay. And she asked me how long it was until we were able to be choosy about who we took on as clients. And I kind of walked her through it. And she's like, oh, I thought you were going to say months, not many years. And I was like, oh no, you are in this for the long haul, my friend. It takes a while to not only know what you're good at and what you can service really well, but also who you want to work with.
Absolutely. Well, and also be so damn good that you can afford to say yes and no when you want to.
Correct.
So the last thing here, we kind of talked about this before, but just to really reiterate this, leverage feedback loops. This is really, really vital. Use the insights from the sales team to refine the marketing strategies. Use the insights from marketing to maybe even refine your sales strategies. Sometimes, there's surprising revelations that can really come through to both. And, if you have a company with one person and you're doing all of it, well, guess what? You don't have to really have an internal battle. You can just be friends with yourself. You can, you can really just do a good job at leveraging the information that you have from both sides. If you've got two people, one in marketing and one in sales, great. Tell them they're on the same team, because they are. And then if you have departments, well, maybe blur the lines a little bit. Maybe have them in meetings together all the time. Don't separate them so much, because, they actually have the same goals.
Right. And I think you made a really good point earlier about, some of this comes from the top and needs to have strong direction from leadership. And unfortunately, like you and I are the queen of delegating. I love to delegate. You love to delegate. We do not suffer from, let me hold on to that. But sometimes people delegate too much, or just say that's your problem to fix, and the two of you and the two departments need to work it out. But unfortunately, in especially larger corporations, you get a lot of animosity between departments and a lot of feeling like it's your fiefdom and all of that, rather than working together towards a common goal. And that needs to not only come from the staff, but really from leadership. And you need to take accountability.
Amen, sister. No, I really love that. So, marketing versus sales, they are different things, but think of it as step 1 and step 2 of a singular process. And if you think of them less as versus, but and, that would be better. And I think that will really help you. We called the title of this episode Sales versus Marketing, because that's how people think of it. We need to meet you where you are. But sales and marketing, it's all one thing. That's not a sexy headline, but that's actually the truth.
So, like with so many things, the truth, not that sexy.
No, and this is me employing marketing to make the episode sexier.
I'm fine with that. I feel good about that. It's like we know what we're doing.
What?
Weird.
I know. All right, well, this will be one of our shorter episodes. There's no reason to belabor a point. Thank you so much for listening. The next episode is going to be talking about managing expectations about marketing. And this one is going to be really important, especially if you're new to the idea of marketing, if you aren't entirely sure what you should get from it. This would be very helpful to you and will help you to make some really good decisions. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. And if you're really feeling awesome and magnanimous, please leave a review. Yeah. And then go to our website and tell us.
Magnanimous.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Better than sanctimonious. Hey, it's one of those days. What is it? Thursday? It's a Thursday yet again.
It's a Thursday.
Oh, man. All right, cool. We'll see you in the next episode, friends. Thanks for being here.